Greetings to all, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ and welcome to the session 2 of Unit 2, Lathe and its operations for the course Machine Tool Technology for post-semester Diploma Mechanical Engineering pertaining to the course code 15ME43T. Myself, Muhammad Imran, lecturer, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Government Polytechnic, Dharwad. So in today's session, we are discussing the following content: the various operations performed by the lathe machines. So let me discuss the various operations one by one. So first, the main important operation performed by lathe machine is turning. As I discussed earlier, the lathe is mainly intended for machining cylindrical surface. All the operations performed by the lathe machine is related to cylindrical surface. So turning is one of the most common lathe machining operation. So during turning process, the cutting tool removes the metal from the outer diameter of the rotating workpiece. You can see here. So this is the outer diameter is removed from the workpiece by moving the tool towards in a longitudinal direction and giving the feed perpendicular to the axis of the workpiece. First, we have to give the feed perpendicular to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece, and then it has to move longitudinally across the workpiece. It will start removing the workpiece. So in order to perform the turning operation, the workpiece is held between two centers, that is live center and dead center. Live center is a headstock chuck, whereas dead center is a tail stock. The main objective of turning is to reduce the workpiece diameter to the desired dimension. So we want some. So initially the given raw material is not to the finished dimension. So in order to give the finished dimension with a good surface finish, we will perform the turning operation. There are usually two types of turning operation: rough turning and finish turning. So what is that rough turning and finish turning? The rough turning operation aims to machine the piece at a so rough turning involves removing the material roughly. Rough turning. So suppose the finished dimension of the workpiece is 25 mm. So the given workpiece is having a diameter of 30 mm. That means you need to remove 5 mm from the 5 mm diameter workpiece, 5 mm diameter from the given raw material. So you have to do it in a two step. In the first step, you have to remove the material roughly around 4 mm. You can remove roughly by giving 2 mm depth of cut two times. So here the heavy depth of cut is given and the material is removed roughly. In case of rough turning, the maximum material is removed during a shortest possible time, discrediting the accuracy and surface finish. So in rough turning, accuracy and surface finish is neglected, but we have saving the time by giving large depth of cut by removing the large depth of thickness of the material in a shortest time. So what left with is 1 mm. So in 2 mm depth of cut, if you give 2 times means a 25 mm diameter will become 21 mm. 30 mm diameter will become 26 mm. So the 1 mm is required now. 1 mm diameter has to be removed. So this 1 mm diameter may be finished with finish turning. So 0.5 mm diameter will give one time with a smooth surface finish. In another cut, we are giving a 0.5 mm depth of cut again and finish it to the required dimension with a good surface finish. In case of finish turning, a smooth surface finish is uh, obtained and the workpiece with the final accurate dimension is obtained. In case of finish turning, and the less amount of material is removed from the surface with a long time in order to obtain a accurate dimensioning and good surface finish. the taper turning. So taper turning is process of producing conical surface with a different diameter due to the angular motion between the workpiece and tool. So here to produce a taper turning is nothing but producing conical surface. You can see the conical surface is produced by the taper turning process. So this is achieved by moving the tool not in a longitudinal direction but in an angular direction. You have to move the tool in an angular direction. You have to move the tool like this angular direction in order to get the taper turning surface. So this taper turning operation is performed by various methods. So for that we have a different topic in the coming classes. So different methods of taper turning include farm tool method, taper turning by farm tool method, by tile stock set over method, or maybe compound rest scaling method. So there are different methods for performing taper turning operation. So it depends upon the length of the taper required and the angle of taper required. Depending upon that, we are using the different kinds of taper turning. So next is the facing operation. So facing is the in the facing operation, instead of moving the tool across the workpiece, it is moved towards the axis of the rotation of the workpiece. The workpiece, the tool is moved uh, perpendicular to the axis of rotation of the workpiece. Instead of moving the tool in a longitudinal direction, the tool has to be moved perpendicular to the axis of rotation. Why the facing operation is performed? So the given length of the raw material is not up to the required dimension. So in some cases we have to reduce the length of the workpiece. In order to reduce the length of the workpiece, a facing tool is used. The facing tool is moved towards the axis of rotation of the workpiece. You can see the tool movement is like this. So it will keep on reducing the length of the workpiece like this. So during machining, the length of the workpiece is slightly larger than the final part should be. So if the given if the required length of the workpiece is 100 mm, the raw material size should be like 110 mm or 105 mm. So this 5 mm extra material has to be removed from the both sides. So 2.5 mm from this side and 2.5 mm from this side has to be removed. So this 2.5 mm is removed by this spacing operation. So you can reduce the length of the workpiece from 105 to our required dimension to 100 mm by this spacing operation. So also we'll get a good surface finish at the end. So the given raw material is not having a good surface finish at the end. So in order to get the good surface finish and accuracy, so the spacing operation is performed. The ends of the workpiece, the facing is an operation of machining the ends of the workpiece. These ends, both ends will be machined workpiece that is perpendicular to the rotating axis. So the tool is moved perpendicular to the axis of rotation of the workpiece. During the facing, the tool moves along the radius of the workpiece to reduce the desired part length and a smooth face surface by removing the thin layer of material. The tool moves along the radius of the workpiece. As I told, the tool moves towards the radius of the workpiece, towards the axis of rotation of the workpiece to produce the desired length of the workpiece. So this is about the facing operation. So next is the threading operation. Threading is one of the most important operation is performed in the lathe. So threading is nothing but producing helical grooves or threads on the outer surface of the workpiece. It is the process of producing helical grooves of a desired pitch. So the pitch adjustment can be done using a lead screw. Inside we can adjust the lead screw to the required pitch. The threading is a turning operation. It is nothing but a turning operation, but to produce a helical groove on the workpiece. Cutting threads on the outer surface. A thread is a uniform helical groove of specified length and pitch. Deeper threads need multiple passes of the tool. So in order to get the deeper thread, it is not performed by a single pass. You need to pass the tool 2-3 times in order to get the deeper thread. So the pitch adjustment can be done by using a lead screw. Uh, by the calculation. So some calculations are there. After calculation that you have to adjust the pitch in order to get the required pitch. We have to adjust the lead screw and the gears inside the lathe mechanism. It is performed by the turning tool only. The threading is performed by turning tool only by moving the tool across the longitudinal direction of the workpiece. Knurling. So the knurling is the process of producing a diamond-shaped impression on the work surface. You can see here the figure. It is clearly shown. It is the process of producing diamond-shaped impression on the work surface. You might have seen this in various components. This kind of gripping. So this is for the purpose of the diamond knurling. The purpose of the knurling operation is to provide a good surface, good gripping surface for holding and to give a good look also. So this knurling operation is performed by a special wheel which is having a, you can see a knurl, which is known as knurl. So unique tool that consists of a single or multiple cylindrical wheels, which is known as knurl, which can rotate inside the tool holder. It can be rotated inside the tool holder. The knurls contain teeth that are rolled against the surface of the workpiece to form the selected pattern. The most common knurling pattern is a diamond pattern. So you can produce different kinds of pattern, not only the diamond shaped. We can, depending upon the knurl used, we can produce different types of impression on the work surface. The main intention is to provide a gripping surface. So it is performed by a cylindrical tool which can be rotated here. So it is not given rotation, but because of the rotation of the workpiece, this knurl will be rotated. The feed will be given perpendicular to the axis of the rotation of the workpiece. Then it is moved towards the longitudinal direction across the tool. First, the feed is given towards the axis of rotation. Then this tool will be moved across the length of the workpiece in order to get the impression on the work surface. So knurling is the process of producing diamond-shaped impression for gripping surface. So it is performed by a special cylindrical wheel which is having a groove-like formation here, which can be rotated by the rotation of the workpiece. It's a drilling operation. So drilling is the operation of producing hole in the ends of the workpiece. So for producing drills, the drill bit or the drill holder or the holder, twist drill, it is called as twist drill, is placed in tile stock. So it is holded. This tool is holded in the tile stock. Then the workpiece is rotated and the tile stock is moved towards the axis of the workpiece. The drilling operation removes the metal from the inside of the workpiece. The result of drilling is a hole with a diameter equal to the size of twist drill. So this diameter is equal to the diameter twist drill we have used for this drilling operation. Drill bits are usually positioned either on a tile stock or lathe tool holder. Usually the drill bit is positioned in the tile stock because it will remove the metal exactly parallel to the axis of rotation of the workpiece. Next is the reaming operation. So the reaming, for performing reaming operation, we already needed a hole which is performed by drilling operation. Without hole, we cannot do the reaming operation. So the reaming is nothing but enlarging and finishing the already drilled holes. So reaming is the operation of a enlarging and finishing. If the given the operation drilling operation performed by a drill bit is not to accurate size or maybe not having a good surface finish. In order to give a good surface finish and also if you want to increase the diameter, it is performed by a reamer. Reaming operation is performed by a special tool which is known as reamer. It is similar to the drill operation. The reamer is placed in the tile stock and it is moved towards the longitudinal direction towards the axis of rotation of the workpiece. So it is the operation of uh, finishing and enlarging the already drilled hole to a required size. So it is performed by a special tool known as reamer. So it is the reamer is placed in the tie stock and tie stock moves towards the length of the workpiece. Next is the boring. The boring is similar to the reamer. It is also a operation of enlarging the hole which is already drilled, punched or forged. It cannot produce the hole. So initially it cannot produce the hole. We need a already drilled hole because the tool is like that. So it requires some space to insert inside the workpiece. So for performing this boring operation, you need a already drilled hole. In that drilled hole, this tool will be placed. It is just like a similar to the external. It is a similar to the external turning operation. So it is very similar to the like boring is similar to the external turning operation, but it is performed inside the hole. This operation, the workpiece is revolved in a chuck and the or a face plate, and the tool which are fitted to the tool post is fed into the work. The tool is fed into the tool. The tool is held in the tool post and it is moved across the length of the workpiece. So for boring operation, you need a already drilled hole in the workpiece. Tapping. Tapping is the operation of producing internal thread in the workpiece. Cutting the internal threads of small diameter using a multi-point cutting tool known as tap. So it is similar to the drilling operation. So instead of for tapping operation also you need a already drilled hole. By using a twist drill you have to produce a hole. After the drilling operation, then in place of twist drill you have to place the tap hole. Again you have to perform the same operation by holding this tap in a tie stock and moving the tie stock towards the length of the workpiece. In a lathe, the work is mounted on a chuck and or a place plate and revolved at a very slow speed. The tap of required size is held in special fixture or may be placed in the tie stock spindle, and it is rotated and is fed against the rotation of the workpiece towards the length of the workpiece. So we'll finish this session to here. So before that, we'll just brush up what are the operations we have studied today. So various operations performed by the lathe is first is turning. This is most important operation performed by the lathe machine. The lathe machine is mainly intended to produce the turning operation only. So in turning operation, the workpiece is held in the chuck and it is given the rotation, and the tool is fed against a perpendicular to the axis of the rotation, and it is moved across the length of the workpiece so that it will remove the outer diameter of the workpiece. So there are two kinds of turning: rough turning and finish turning. In rough turning, large amount of material is removed with a shorter period of time by neglecting the surface finish and dimensional accuracy. By neglecting the surface finish and dimensional accuracy, lot of amount of work metal is removed with a shorter duration, which is known as rough turning. So all the for finish turning is the process of removing a very small amount of workpiece with a long time in order to give a good surface finish and good dimensional accuracy. The final accuracy or the dimension is achieved by finish turning only. So the taper turning is the process of producing conical surface on the workpiece. The conical surface on the workpiece by moving the tool at an angular direction. So in taper in general turning, we have to move the tool in a towards the length of the workpiece to the parallel to the axis of rotation of the workpiece. But in a taper turning method, we have to move the tool in a at an angular direction to the axis of rotation of the workpiece. So there are different methods for taper turning operation. That may be farm tool method, tie stock cutover method, or a compound rest dwelling method, etc., depending upon the length of the taper required. Next is the facing operation. So facing is the operation of reducing the length of the workpiece by machining the ends of the workpiece. It will performed by a facing tool by moving the tool towards the axis of perpendicular to the axis of the rotation of the axis. The tool will move like this, and it will finishes and reduces the ends of the workpiece. The given workpiece, the given raw material is not up to the required shape and size. It is slightly greater than the required dimension. So in order to obtain the required length of the workpiece, we have to machine the ends of the workpiece. It is performed by the facing operation. Suppose the given length of the workpiece is 105, the finished length requires 100 mm. So 5 mm you need to remove from this length workpiece. Then 2.5 mm from this side we are facing, and 2.5 mm from this side we are facing, so that it will get to the required length. Next is threading is the operation of producing uh, helical grooves on the outer surface of the workpiece. It is performed by single point cutting tool by moving the tool across the length of the workpiece. For deeper cut, we need more than 2-3 cuts, and pitch is adjusted by using lead screw. Knurling is the process of producing diamond shaped or other impression on the outer surface of the workpiece for gripping surface. It is performed by a special tool known as a knurl, which is having a cuts rolled on the outer surface. Drilling is the operation of producing holes on the ends of the workpiece by a fixed drill, which is placed in the drill bit, or a special which is placed in the time stock, or a special fixtures. Reamer is the operation of finishing and enlarging the already drilled hole. It is performed by a special tool known as reamer, which is held similar to the drilling operation, like in a tie stock, or maybe with a special fixture. Boring is also a operation of producing enlarging the already drilled hole. It will not produce the hole, but it will enlarge the hole which is already produced by the drilling operation. It is very similar to the external turning, but turning is done inside the already drilled hole. Tapping is the operation of producing the internal threads in the workpiece, which is already drilled. So the tapping is performed by a special tool known as tap. So required tap is placed in the tie stock or a special fixture, and it is inserted into the already drilled hole to get the required tap size. Thank you for watching video. Thank you.